Well, it is Saturday. Have a little look at what we're looking at. The blowing wind from where I am, about 38 kilometers. Let's say 25-mile-an-hour winds, blowing snow. And last night when I went to bed, when I left here last night, the track was in great condition. There was a chance of snow, actually a lot of snow. But when I went to bed, it was 11:30, and it was 11:30, and I didn't really see any of that snow coming. Right, it seemed clear out. It seemed nice out, and I wanted to get up early. We had a lot to do today. We had all the horses. There wasn't one horse that was going to miss training today, so we had all of them. How bad is it? So we're just waiting for a plow to show up today. It shouldn't be that hard to clear off. The problem is, as James said, with the wind, as soon as you blow it out, it's going to blow back in. So there'll be no training today, and even worse so, we had 9 horses going to the track today, some to school, some to train. And, yeah, baby, you want me to fix it? Some to train, some to school. And instead, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. But instead, we get nothing done. Just jogging today. It seems to be par for the course for the week. You know, it's been a kind of a crappy week all week between races being canceled, horses making breaks. I guess we've had our first rare. Here you go, baby. We've had our first rare poor week of the year, and I guess it wasn't a horrendous week, but at the same time, we didn't get any of the horses schooled we wanted. We didn't get anybody qualified we wanted. Even at the track, we had bad luck with Tour de Lindy. We had bad luck with I'm a Lovely Lady. Eldie's Patrick made a break. So a lot of things didn't go right this week, but we're looking to rectify them. We moved a number of horses on, sold some horses. We're going to continue to sell some of the sophomores that aren't panning out. Granite Hill left us the other day. Kathy with an I is close to leaving us also. So we're in another transition, I guess, another wave of transition here at the stable where we have a number of sophomores pushing forward. Matt's MVP raced good the other night. Voyage of Ice and Fire qualified well, so those are 2 good points. Will to Win Hanover was supposed to train today. Aglarium was supposed to school. They're off the table today, so we're left with jogging. I told them there are some horses that I want to catch up with, right? Horses like Five Fish Species or Oh My Gosh, horses like that really needed the training today, where other horses like Full Heart and Merchant Man just jogged past me. They're fine. They're in no trouble. It would be a nice day to use to catch up with some of these horses, but unless we get a plow here, and it's on its way. It's 8:21. See, the problem was that everybody was here at 7 o'clock, right? We were going to start training at 7:30 today. We were going to start warming up the trainers at Mohawk at 7:30 today. So it was all hands on deck at 7 o'clock. Everybody kind of piled in here in the snow, and they're like, what do we do now? We all get a text on our phone saying Mohawk qualifiers are canceled. So that means training and schooling is canceled. That's out the window. Nellie said the plow had called a couple of times, said they can't be here until 9 a.m., which sucks. But, you know, when you're going to get a foot of snow dumped on you overnight, it's tough to clear all that off, right? Really tough. So, anyway, welcome to Canada. This is what we're dealing with. You might be able to hear. Hi, baby. A lot of snow, eh? Yeah, even you're tired, eh? You were a good girl. You got up at 6 a.m. today. Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
She's getting good at that. So, kind of a slow week. We're going to go through the 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Not a ton of changes. I guess the most movement will come from the 3-year-olds. Who's ready, who's getting ready, and who will be surfacing soon. Now, today would have played a big role in that. So, obviously, even those timelines have changed a little bit, but as we say that, we'll push forward. And even though, oh goodness, 6 a.m. is early. Even though we didn't have the greatest week, and even though we missed a day with a lot of the horses, these are days that we allot for, right? In Canada, especially. Every year we go back and look, we have, it's really sunny now. Every year you go back and look, we have, where are they going here? every year we go back and look, we have some horses that are, some days that we miss, right? It doesn't necessarily mean in the bigger scheme of things we've missed any time. So that's where we're at right now. Not a ton to report. I can report that we made a little change. I had watched the races from the Meadowlands last night, more particularly one of my partners watched the races from the Meadowlands last night, and I had talked to Mark Beckwith some more and said, listen, rather than aim for Saratoga with Eldest Patrick, maybe, hold on, you're thirsty? Maybe we'll aim for the Meadowlands next Friday night. So I booked a ticket to the Meadowlands, although I may be maybe one of the lower drivers on the totem pole at the Meadowlands drivers room next week. I do know Eldest Patrick very well, and we want to make sure that we ensure that he not only gets back on track, but stays on track. And by racing him in Mark's bike, racing him at a bigger track with a lot more room, one, might be able to appease some of his anxiety if that's the case, and two, know exactly where all the equipment has to go. See, you may say to yourself, well, Anthony, why wouldn't you do that anyway? Every bike's a little bit different, right? They can say, oh, this UFO and that UFO is the same, but then you go to put it on a horse and it's not. Maybe Mark has a different kind of bike. There's only 5, 6, 7 different kinds of bikes out there, and the bike that we race him in that we race all our horses in at Mohawk is a trotting model UFO, and Mark Beckwith doesn't have a trotting model UFO, so the hobbles may not sit proper on him. I know where the hobbles can go on any bike with Eldest Patrick, but understanding, putting it on, and then executing, there's a lot of gray area there, and we don't have a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of patience for the gray area when it comes to Eldest Patrick. Last thing we want to see is have this horse make another mistake next week at whatever track we race him at. So I think I appreciate Steve bringing it to my attention. The non-winners of 60,000 last night went in 55 at the Meadowlands. I don't think 55 is going to be a real problem for Eldest Patrick. So we will put him in to go at the Meadowlands next Friday. I have booked my ticket, and I will be driving Eldest Patrick at the Meadowlands next Friday evening. What goes on after that will be up to Eldest Patrick. But one thing is for certain, he'll be hung up and ready to go at that point. Now, that leads me to a couple other questions. We had some people asking about why we moved horses on. You want to come up and sit with me? Come on. Oh, you're a good girl. A couple of people asked, why are we selling horses? Sometimes, to me, it goes without saying, but it shouldn't go without saying, because they're valid questions. Why do you sell a horse like Granite Hill? We waited all winter, trained him back. Why? Well, the reality of the situation is we try to do what's best for all the horses and hope that it turns out well, but in some cases, and it almost seems in more cases than not, it doesn't. But we're always looking for the cases where it does. You look at a horse like Matt's MVP, trained down terrible, was not a very effective horse at 2, quite the opposite. In fact, the least effective horse at 2. He had a terrible attitude, terrible work ethic, and we castrated him, turned him out in the field for the remainder of the summer, gave him a long time off, brought him back, and lo and behold, did turn into a nice horse. He wasn't awesome the other night, but his first start of the year, his first parimutuel start, as somebody said, that's not accurate. They were still wagering last year at his fair. His first start of the year, and maybe his first start at a major racetrack in his life, was Northfield the other night. Raced well, finished third, trotted 59. I was impressed by him because he didn't warm up great. On the line a little bit, seemed a little tender, a little soft to me, but went out and did his work as well as he could. So you see that transition from that attitude and that work ethic to one that was horrendous to one that actually impressed me the other night. Not just impressed me because it was him and because I know where he was and where he is, but impressive because it was impressive for any horse. So a good job by him, and when you look at that template and then put it on Granite Hill, Granite's a nice horse. Tries his heart out, but I'm just watching a horse go by there. Don't do that, sweetie. We don't turn the windshield wipers on, all right? Tries his heart out, but just isn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. God just didn't gift him with enough talent. Maybe in July, August, September, maybe it's later in his 3-year-old year when he puts on some of that much-needed weight and girth and muscle. Will he be a good horse? He could be. Got all the tools to be one. He just isn't right now. So the reality is I have to look at that horse, those two horses together and say, okay, Voyage of Ice and Fire, who really bothered me last year, but qualified in 59 on Wednesday and looked good. Matt's MVP raced, was timed in 59, looked good. And then Granite Hill, 2-2 and a piece, struggled. So I think it's important to look at all that is going on and judge it in real time, right? So that is how we ended up with. Can you watch that over in that seat, do you think? If I put you over there in Ava's seat?
No.
Well, it's just noisy and it's driving me crazy.
Whoa.
And good girl. You want to take your boots off? Okay, don't take your socks off though. That's a good girl. So that's where we're at with the 3-year-olds. Obviously, the 2-year-olds that are training down, you're starting to see them fit into a ladder 1 through 61 for the most part. A little different for everybody, but what does the last, do those last ones? Are those horses that are going to come forward? I hope so. I think this year there is a May sale in Ohio, and to be frank, if we have horses that are hanging out, bad attitudes, bad work ethic, any of the problems that they usually have as 2-year-olds, then we have to take a look at those also and say, okay, are these horses that we're also going to stop, turn out for the summer, and continue on with in the fall, winter of 2023, or are these horses that we're going to move on also? So likely the latter will likely move on with some of those horses. There's likely, I'm going to say 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that, out of 60, which probably isn't a bad idea, probably isn't a bad thing, but the reality of racing. Right now I'm focusing on, I spent most of my morning when I realized we weren't working as hard, talking to Dr. Haley Moore. That is where we're going to send most of our horses in Kentucky to her farm. She said she can accommodate all of our horses, so we have to full a lot of them out, have to rebreed them, and our plan is to send them to Kentucky, obviously, like everybody else on planet Earth. With the Kentucky program as strong as it is, those foals of 2023 will all be dual eligible, which makes the most sense for us. It's cost effective to have them there. Haley runs a great farm and a great ship, but it doesn't cost a ton of money. And I'm gonna get yelled at. Watch. Yes, honey. Really?
Hi, Mom.
Just take one. Why do you need a jog cart?
Hi, Mom.
The people that are waiting for horses.
Hi, Mommy.
What's wrong?
Johnny's and Ken's and Jimmy's. What one would you be using?
Just grab the red one there.
Kenny's using it.
Well, we have to have enough jog carts. There's no way we don't. So grab the one from Jason's or somebody's. Grab somebody from there. We have more than enough jog carts at this farm. Watch your hand. Hey, watch yourself. Watch yourself, Addie Bear. I got to put the window up. Good girl. It's mathematically impossible. We have about 13 people that jog and about 18 jog carts. So I don't know where they went to, but there's some here somewhere. That one there's got a broken shaft.
You open this?
Where'd you find those?
Coffee.
By the coffee? And you like these? These peanut butter cookies at 8:30 in the morning? I'm not really sure Mommy would okay that. Okay. Are you going to be a good girl today?
Yes.
Okay, only eat one cookie at a time, alright? Don't make crumbs. Like asking a dog not to bark. You don't like peanut butter cookies? They're yummy. Anyway, that's where we're at with the horses. As I said, kind of a slow day now. We don't got a lot to report. Oh, this one trained good, that one trained good. Reality of the situation, there's probably no trainers today. Probably not. So, this is Canada. This is what we deal with. Here, Enzo Aguero going out on the track for a little morning jog. You can see, not a very nice day, but as I said, that's Canada. So we have tons of videos still today. We are going to talk about the 3-year-olds. We are going to talk about the 2-year-olds, talk about the aged horses. We've had some horses leave. We are looking to add some horses. Also, I'm bidding on a horse right now. Now, you're watching this on Monday or Sunday evening. The auction is closed. You'll either know that we bought a horse or we did not buy a horse, but I am bidding on one right now on gate. I see there's a new sale coming from Preferred Equine. It's on February the 23rd. Rest assured, we are probably going to turn out Locatelli after this start. I told everybody we're not racing this horse in the open all year. He's in the Preferred right now. I'm not sending him somewhere else to race. I would say that Monday evening, tomorrow night, depending on when this video goes out, will be Locatelli's last start for a while. Going to turn him out, freshen him up, let him grow up. I think the plan Harry had was probably smart, probably the best way to go. Turn him out for 1 month, bring him back, jog him slow, train him down. We want to freshen him up a little bit again, we can. But maybe turning that particular horse out for more than 4 weeks may end up with a little more weight than you want. He's pretty easygoing and a pretty good eater. So got to keep an eye on that fella's weight. White Tiger at some point is going to need a rest. Now the good news is Stonebridge Simba, now totally different horses, but Stonebridge Simba, no, don't drink that. Stonebridge Simba, you can have a drink of mine if you want. It's tea, it's good. No, it's not hot. Stonebridge Simba is getting close to being back ready to race, and yes, we didn't bring Yes in last week. I completely lied to you last week. Said he was coming back in. So here's the thing. I told Wayne and Jacob Schaefer, listen, I want to put some weight on Yes. They said fine, he's looking better. My plan was to take Compass Rose DC to the Meadows. Now, I believe Schaefer Farms, now I drove there, it's 40 minutes away from the Meadows. I think it's north. So they were just going to bring Yes to the Meadows, swap him out with Compass Rose DC, and then we'd ship Yes back to Ohio. We just didn't get to do that last week, right? This week we may do that. Regardless, I'll have Wayne drop off Yes at Northfield and pick up. And again, it might be worth his while to actually go to Northfield because I can have my GS shipped back over, Compass Rose DC, depending on what we look at. Listen, she's winding down, two very different situations. My Jazz is looking at a win, hopefully on Sunday, or a good finish anyway, to her career. Coming off, 4 or 5 wins this season. It's such a shame we have to stop with her, but really excited to breed her. Compass Rose DC had a great career. Just maybe ended a little bit on the flat side, but that happens. It's funny. There's My Jazz going up the hill right now. I can't turn it. She's going up the hill to jog right now. But Compass Rose DC had a great stake, life in the stakes for us. Definitely as a 2 and 3 year old, ended up with a real good mark and some good miles. She too will be a real good broodmare for us. I hope she's going to Enterprise as My Jazz is going to International Money. So that's going on right now. Also, I'm going to bring some horses over to Ohio. We've sold some horses, and obviously Compass Rose DC will be going out. My Jazz will be leaving to go to here. We'll get those horses over to Ohio and get to Wayne Schaefer to come pick them up. I think that's the best thing. Drop off a Yes when he's there. Jason has informed me that as of March 1st, he plans to relocate to Ohio for the season, which is a little earlier even than he did in previous years. I think he sees, the stakes starting in March and wanted to get a handle on getting the barn up and running the way he wanted it early March in Ohio. So a number of the horses will be leaving. I don't know that Isa 10 and those horses, if we have horses that are ready for the maiden here, Isa 10 may go back over there. Horses like her, any horses that are not Ontario breds that are getting ready to race are close to probably going back over with Jason. That will again pump up the staff to the proper numbers of horses in Ohio and alleviate some of the pressure here on the Canadian side of the border. It's not that they're stressed out, but to be quite frank, we've had some people that have missed some time and drug their feet, and maybe they would work somewhere else. Would be better for them. So there's Amy going right there. There's Mommy. Look, Mommy going jog up the hill. See her?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, not much to talk about this week, but I'll get to it in a minute. We got lots of videos still. I guess the most important video would be what we're doing with the aged horses, particularly how the 3-year-olds are coming. 2-year-olds are pretty well the same as last week, but I'll get to those in just a minute. So, snowy day here in Ontario, Canada. Hope you guys, if it's cold and windy where you are, bundle up, have an extra coffee. We'll talk to you all very soon.